Have you ever wondered why some people seem to succeed in everything they do, while others struggle tirelessly without achieving what they desire? Is it just a matter of skills, resources, or is there something deeper happening? What if I told you that the real challenge is not out there but within ourselves? Imagine being at the top of a mountain with the world at your feet. Now, imagine that the path to get there wasn't just a climb of skills, but an internal battle against the voices that said, "You are not capable." Have you heard those voices before? The ones that whisper, doubt, and try to drag you back to your comfort zone? But here's the secret that most people ignore. The biggest enemies of success are not the lack of resources or unfavorable circumstances. No, the real obstacle lies in the relationships we allow to shape our view of ourselves. Have you ever stopped to think about how many times you doubted yourself because of words spoken by someone close to you? Now think with me. If these influences are so powerful, are they dictating your destiny without you even realizing it? Who are the people around you and how do they affect your path to success? Are you being propelled or hindered by them? And so, we face a crucial choice: to continue allowing these forces to sabotage our progress or to confront what truly matters, what lies within us. But are we ready for this internal battle? Or is it that most of us never even notice it? After all, how can we win a war that we don't even know we are fighting? Have you ever heard a voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough? That voice that criticizes every step you take, questions your decisions, and makes you feel small? What if I told you that this voice is not your friend, but a disguised saboteur? These are the internal tricksters, true masters of manipulation, living in our minds and sabotaging our growth. But what exactly are these tricksters? They are more than just simple doubts. They are the voices that criticize, judge, and undermine your self-confidence. They hide in the deepest corners of your psyche, waiting for the right moment to whisper words that make you question every choice. How many times have you found yourself paralyzed, unable to act because of this internal judgment? But here's the question: how can we identify these saboteurs when they disguise themselves so well as our own thoughts? They feed on our fears, use our insecurities against us, and do so subtly enough that we rarely notice their presence until it's too late. And what happens if we don't confront them? Will they continue to guide our actions, keeping us trapped in an endless cycle of self-sabotage? Or can we learn to silence them, to unmask their lies and regain control over our lives? Defeating these internal tricksters isn't just a choice, it's a necessity. Because until we confront them, how can we truly grow? How can we reach our maximum potential if we are constantly being pulled back by these false advisors? The first step is to recognize them. The second, well, is a battle we all need to fight and win. Let's face the truth. We all have internal voices that try to keep us away from success. But do you know the 5 main deceivers that inhabit the minds of most people? They are cunning, persistent, and incredibly effective at sabotaging your progress. Let's unveil these masters of manipulation one by one. The classic judge. Have you ever found yourself reliving past mistakes, feeling that crushing guilt over something you can't change? This is the work of the classic judge. He is that relentless critic who is never satisfied, always finding a flaw, a fault, something to blame you for. Where does he come from? Often he is born from a childhood where criticism was constant, where nothing you did seemed good enough. And what happens when you let the classic judge take the reins? You sink into regrets, trapped in a cycle that only undermines your self-confidence. But do you really need to keep listening to that voice, or is it time to silence it? The victim. Now let's talk about the victim. This deceiver is a true expert at making you believe that the world is against you. He whispers that everything is harder for you, that the odds are always stacked against you, that no matter how hard you try, it will never be enough. And the worst part? He steals your willpower, making you give up before you even try. How many opportunities have you lost because the victim convinced you it was pointless to fight? Are you willing to continue allowing this voice to dictate your choices? The misguided protector. And finally, we have the misguided protector. He presents himself as an ally, someone who wants to shield you from failure. But in reality, he is a master at paralyzing your dreams. Afraid of making mistakes, he keeps you trapped in a comfort zone, where you never dare to take risks, never expose yourself to the new. This protector is born from exaggerated expectations, often planted in childhood, where the fear of disappointing was overwhelming. But now, as an adult, do you still need this protection? Or is it time to face your fears and expand your horizons? These three deceivers, the classic judge, the victim, and the misguided protector, are powerful but not invincible. Identifying them is the first step to dismantling their power over you. After all, if they have guided your choices until now, what would your life be like if you managed to overcome them? Now that we are familiar with the main internal deceivers, the question that begs to be asked is, how can we overcome them? How can we defeat these voices that sabotage our success and keep us trapped? The answer begins with a simple but powerful act of awareness. Awareness. Recognizing the presence of the deceivers. The first step to overcoming any enemy is recognizing it. These deceivers thrive in the shadows, feeding off our unconscious mind. When you become aware of their existence, something magical happens. You start to see them for what they really are, false advisors that offer nothing but doubt and fear. But is mere recognition enough? Combat techniques. Recognizing the deceivers is just the beginning. To truly defeat them, we need effective tools, and here are some that can transform the way you deal with these internal voices. Self-talk in the third person. Have you ever tried talking to yourself as if you were speaking to someone else? This technique may seem strange at first, but it is surprisingly powerful. When you refer to yourself in the third person, you create emotional distance that allows you to view the situation more clearly. For example, instead of saying, "I am a failure," try saying, "John is facing a challenge right now, but he has what it takes to overcome it." This small adjustment can completely change your perspective. Cognitive shift. Focus on control. The deceivers love it when you worry about things that are outside your control. So why not turn the tables? Redirect your focus to what you can control. Ask yourself, what is within my reach at this moment? This diminishes anxiety and increases your sense of power over the situation. Action and consistency. Face your fears. The deceivers thrive on inaction. They love it when you are paralyzed by fear. But here's the antidote. Take action, even if it's a small step, and do so consistently. Every action, no matter how small, is a blow against those voices that hold you back. And the more you act, the weaker they become. Mental reprogramming. Value yourself for who you are. How many times have you measured yourself by what you've done or failed to do? It's time to change that. Start valuing yourself for who you are, not for what you achieve. Remember, your worth is not tied to your successes or failures, but to your essence. This not only weakens the deceivers but also boosts your self-confidence. Overcoming codependency. Value independent of approval. Finally, it is crucial to recognize that your worth does not depend on others' approval. Codependency is fertile ground for inner deceivers. Free yourself from the need for external validation. When you feel good about yourself, regardless of others' opinions, the deceivers lose their power. Each of these techniques is a weapon in your arsenal against the inner deceivers. But remember, the battle is ongoing. Each time you face them and win, you get closer to a life where you, and not those voices, are in control. The question now is, are you ready for this battle? At the end of this journey of self-discovery, an inescapable truth emerges. Even the most successful people, those who seem to have everything under control, also face their own inner deceivers. These masters of sabotage do not choose their victims based on levels of success, resources, or talent. They are democratic in their cruelty, attacking anyone who dares to dream big and seek more. But here's the key point. External success, the kind that others see, is only part of the story. True fulfillment, the kind that brings peace, satisfaction, and a profound sense of purpose, can only be achieved when we learn to overcome these inner saboteurs. Because what good is it to achieve great accomplishments if, inside, you still feel trapped by doubts, fears, and insecurities? Overcoming these deceivers is not just a matter of material or professional success. It's about finding true happiness, one that does not depend on external recognition, but on an internal peace, knowing that you are enough, that you are capable, and that you are worthy of everything life has to offer. So, what will your next step be? Will you allow these saboteurs to continue dictating the rules, or will you confront them head-on, armed with the techniques and awareness you now possess? The choice is yours, and what's at stake is not just success, but your own well-being and lasting happiness. Are you ready to conquer not just the world outside but the world within you?